guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Peterson Makeover. Today I'm joined by
Perseverance, guys.
We're going to be checking out a journalist tries to frame and cancel Jordan Peterson but gets destroyed instantly. I've been meaning to check this video for a while now, so I'm happy we're going to see it. So guys, without further ado, let's get started.
I thought we were talking about masculinity.
We are.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
How are we talking about masculinity? First of all, I'm not convinced that the theory that what we have is a patriarchal hierarchy is correct to begin with. I don't understand why people would even begin to conceptualize the world that way. Better in what way? I thought we were talking about masculinity.
We are.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
How are we talking about masculinity?
Because I'm asking you what you think of men and of women.
No, basically what you've been trying to do, I would say for the last 15 minutes, is put me into a sequence of corners by accusing me of various forms of misbehavior.
What is a real man, or what should he be?
You should want the best for people, for you, for your family, and for the community. Courage is a good thing. Courage in the face of life's difficulties. You know, one of the things I suggest to the people who are watching my videos, for example, is that a good ambition is to be the most reliable person at your father's funeral.
You think that nowadays men lack virility, that they're not men anymore?
No, I think that you could make a case that they are punished for those virtues and so are less likely to feel confident in their expression or development.
You feel that society nowadays tells men that it's not okay to be ambitious?
It's certainly not encouraged, it's discouraged because of the confusion between, the purposeful confusion in my estimation, between power and competence.
You think the hierarchy of the patriarchal system is a good one?
Well, first of all, I'm not convinced that the theory that what we have is a patriarchal hierarchy is correct to begin with. I don't think that way because I don't understand precisely what that means. Does that mean that women had no role in shaping our society? It's only been the last 10 years that people have made the presumption that it's self-evident that what we live in is a patriarchy. What women haven't contributed? Is this the point we're making? Is that women haven't contributed to our society? They just weren't there until what, 1965? And all of a sudden they took their place. All the women before that weren't doing anything at all. It was all patriarchy.
You don't feel that globally men have the better end of the stick?
No. No, I don't believe that globally men have the better end of the stick. Like what? I don't understand why people would even begin to conceptualize the world that way. Better in what way?
Roles of power in businesses, politically, men pretty much rule the world, no?
Well, what about in warfare? What about in dangerous jobs? Who gets killed in war? Who fights in war? Men.
You have women who are soldiers in the army nowadays.
How many percent?
It's opening more and more.
Yeah. Well, no, we're not going to go down that.
Is a woman soldier not as good as a man soldier?
I don't know whether a woman soldier is as good as a man soldier. I know that in most armed forces, women aren't placed in high combat frontline positions.
Who is responsible for this, the demasculization of the society?
Feminist groups have a fair bit to do with it, and the radical left types that insist that what we live in is a patriarchal tyranny. They think that the idea that our culture is a tyrannical patriarchy is an axiomatic truth. Well, I think that's complete nonsense. The insistence that gender identity and gender expression are social constructions, the insistence upon that. The insistence that if there are any differences in outcome, that's a consequence of oppression. That's what's up with them. All of that's complete bloody nonsense.
You have the feeling that feminism has gone too far?
Far too far. But it's the leftist it's not so much feminism, it's really the ideology that characterizes the radical left. Feminism is part of that. What inequalities are we talking about precisely?
Talking about wages, access
to
positions of power.
The wage gap has nothing to do. The wage gap has nothing to do with prejudice, or virtually nothing to do with it. Single men and women in their 20s. In fact, there's a wage advantage for single women in their 20s. So if there's any gap at all with regards to wages, it's a gap between people and mothers.
Most of the data in all of the countries, come up to that conclusion, that a woman who has the same position as a man.
Women and men who do the same job, the women end up getting paid less?
Yes.
And you control for everything else? No, sorry, the data's wrong. There's at least 16 reasons why men get paid more than women.
True.
Men work longer
True, that is absolutely true.
hours. If you work 10% longer hours, you make 40% more money. Okay, men work in more dangerous positions. So there's a wage advantage for working in more dangerous positions. Men are more likely to move as a consequence of being required to by their job. They work in more dangerous positions, they're more likely to work outside.
I'll take you on that.
They're more likely to work in STEM fields. They're more likely to work in fields where you can scale. If you look and you say, well, on average, women make less money than men, which is also different than saying that they make less for doing the same work, because those aren't the same claims, then you have to say, well, what are the reasons that are contributing to that? You can't just say, well, it's a consequence of gender discrimination, unless you can only think about one thing at a time. And I would say that's another problem with the modern feminists.
I love this one.
They can only think about one thing at a time.
You said in an interview that to stop harassment in the workplace, a good start would be women stopping wearing lipstick.
No, I didn't say that. It was an issue to what are the rules governing male and female behavior in the workplace. And if makeup is a sexual signal, then why should it be acceptable in the workplace? Well, what the hell do you think makeup is for? Why do women wear red lipstick?
Go ahead,
just out of curiosity. Why do they rouge their cheeks?
Because
why
they
red?
want to feel beautiful?
Look, I mean, the ideas that I'm putting forward here with regards to makeup aren't contentious. This has been studied. We know perfectly well what sexual signaling does, why people wear makeup, why women wear makeup. I really don't care particularly what people feel about facts. What are the rules exactly governing the behavior of men and women in the workplace? NBC, no hugging. Okay, that's a rule now. Okay, how about no sexual displays in the workplace? None. How about that for a rule? Now, I'm not saying that that's a rule that we should adopt, but I am saying that if we're going to have a culture-wide conversation about the difficulties of men and women working together, then we better bloody well make sure that we get the rules straight. Now, when the Maoists took over China, they had men and women wear the same uniform, no makeup, same haircuts. Why? To eliminate all of that. I didn't say that if a woman wears makeup, that's any excuse for a man to harass her. I just said that if she's wearing makeup, that's sexual signaling, and that is what it is.
My vision of it is that, in a way, it puts the blame on women and it gives the guys a free pass.
Well, you can interpret it that way if you want, but that isn't how I see it. And that's also not what I'm implying. And I think that it's appalling that women are treated badly in the workplace by, like, unsophisticated men who have no idea how to govern their impulses.
In a video, you said that the problem with those angry women is that since at the end of the argument you cannot fight physically, you can't really deal with them.
That's not what I said. I said that that's one of the things that keeps conversation between men civil. Women can't argue with angry women. Women are often bullied by angry women.
What I meant was more, you said that, and I'm really not trying to paraphrase you or, to put words into your mouth.
You are trying that directly.
No, it is things that you said, that you cannot deal with those
yes, but don't tell me that you're not trying to put words into my mouth, because you've selected what you're going to ask, and you selected it very carefully, with a tremendous amount of forethought.
Well,
and there's a purpose for that. What is the purpose precisely?
I am quoting things that you said.
Why? What is it that you're trying to establish?
Because you said that.
I thought we were talking about masculinity.
We are.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
How are we talking about masculinity?
Because I'm asking you what you think of men and of women.
Basically what you've been trying to do, I would say, for the last 15 minutes is put me into a sequence of corners by accusing me of various forms of misbehavior. So why are we doing that? What's the point?
Because Peterson, I was saying, I didn't say that. I said it like this. You have always been correcting the man ever since. Means the man is trying to put him in a corner. So you feel like you're not truthful to your words. You don't know what you are saying and stuff like that. And Peterson is a very, very smart man. Any interview you carry him to, and you kind of make emphasis to his words he has said before, and that is not exactly what he said. He is going to correct you instantly. Be like, that was not exactly what I said. That's not the point of
what I'm saying.
These are things that you said. My job as a journalist is to ask questions about what you represent and the ideas that you defend.
Your job is also to select the things that you might ask about in some manner that doesn't indicate a substantive bias. You picked 3 things to talk to me about in the last 20 minutes that were very carefully selected. Like, why did you pick those things?
Because this is my job.
No, not necessarily. You could be asking me, for example, why I've spoken to 250,000 people live in the last 8 months. That might be more newsworthy.
Well, we're not going to have a big debate about journalism, but if a journalist doesn't ask the tough questions, how can you give the good answers?
But it depends on what the tough questions are. It depends on
I didn't think that they would be tough. We're talking about things that you said. I mean, if it's easier to have conversation between men because there is this underlying threat, of a physical contact.
I don't think it's easier. It tends to be somewhat more civil.
So, fighting is the ultimate way of resolving the conflict?
It's a good question. The ultimate way of resolving a conflict is to negotiate for peace, if you can manage it. But if you can't negotiate for peace, then what are the alternatives?
How do you explain so many men, so many young men follow you, listen to you?
Because they need encouragement. And they need a reason for growing up. And I encourage them and give them a reason to grow up.
What are you
It's better to grow up than to stay immature. I don't believe that I'm a guru. I don't think that you can be a guru and tell people to take their own way. I'm asking people to develop a vision for their own lives and to adopt the responsibility for that, but it has to be something that's personal.
But do you feel responsibility then?
Yes, absolutely. Fundamentally, this is supposed to be helpful to people.
What if I told you that you're playing on young men's distress to make all that money?
That accusation has been leveled at me before. I don't know how I'm playing on their distress, exploiting it or helping it.
The fact
Look,
is,
I've
a lot
said
of
right
people-
from the beginning that I'm an evil capitalist. I don't make any bones about it. I'm not ashamed of making money. It's very hard to make money.
Can I ask you bluntly how much you make?
I make $80,000 a month on Patreon. My book is selling about 20,000 copies a week. I have royalties that probably amount to something approximating $1.50 on each of those. The tours garner about $35,000 to $50,000 an evening. I have a business that's generating something in the neighborhood of $200,000 a month for me personally. There's some other smaller sources of income than that.
Then you are making a lot of money
Yes,
out of this.
I certainly am. And so are a lot of other people.
Truth be told, he's very open. This is a capitalist. He's, aside him sharing his own viewpoints about life, there are also benefits. That sometimes also my channel too, people just want support for Patreon. They just want let me support you. I love your course. I love what you do. I love how you listen to this song. I love your review about things. Let me just support you. It's not like you are imposing or forcing people to support you. It's something that is genuinely from their hearts to give you as a way of, oh, thank you for sharing such an idea for me. I never knew such a thing existed. I never knew I could be better by listening to your words. So it's just a way of encouragement. So you coming to tell him he's just doing the general because of money. If it's because of money, he has more business, he has more idea. He's a professor. So you can't tell him he's broke or he does not have how to feed himself. He already have things already, but him having benefit for his own book he's writing and his own podcast, his all the 10 people and stuff like that. You don't tell him he's doing to exploit people, because that is the way the journalist was trying to put it. He's exploiting people from their money. No, he's sharing his own genuine thoughts about life and his own opinion to people to make them, to encourage them to grow up, to become more better of themselves. By doing that, he's generating revenue. He's been giving money. He's been his business is also striving. So you can't tell him that he's exploiting people. What is money? Money is a way of exchange. I give you an idea, you pay me for my work. You get. So if I'm able to advise you and encourage you, what is the point of us having a therapist? We have them to listen to us and also give us their own personal feedback. So if I'm able to communicate to you and you get knowledge from what I share to you and I'm being rewarded in some means, that doesn't mean I'm exploiting you. So that journalist is trying to put words to his mouth to pull him down, and Jordan Peterson, he's exploiting the world. He's exploiting you. He's not actually, he's not who he say he is. You get that kind of sense. So that this journalist is always putting words to Peterson's mouth every time. And Peterson is very smart. He observed it and he warned him, like, this is not the topic you
He actually
you
caught
asked
it when
us.
the guy was saying, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, because that was not the bone of contention itself. That was not the main purpose Peterson was there. Peterson was there because of
Masculinity.
yeah. So that is it. So what do you think?
I just feel when all these journalists call Peterson, they feel that they can trap him in ways, but they don't know he's 10 times smarter than them, and he calculates everything. We think that if you're looking at something for just one point of view, you're going to be wrong. Jordan Peterson just don't talk from one aspect of life. Just like that's what he was talking about the feminists, that you're maybe you're protesting about this particular thing, but don't just look at just this thing. Look at it from different angle.
Yeah.
Look at it from different point of view. When you're going out and you're saying equality for women, so are you guys going to come out in your numbers to join the army? So that it will be equal for both men and women. Are you going to come out in your numbers to join laborers that build house? So it will be equal for both
men and women.
No one will come out for it.
No.
Because the percentage of people that want to be in the army are ladies are few. The fewer than the average men. Just for even the engineering department. So the percentage of people that are going to come out for that are not more. Then what are you getting equality for?
You know, when it comes to survivor, feminists run. Like, that's when you know feminism does not exist. When it comes to survivor, when it comes to toughness in life, you know, it's like this. For instance, if I were to say like USA is fighting against Canada, for instance.
We don't need to go far. Look at the
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
So how many feminists that in Ukraine are coming out like, yeah, let's wear the military uniform and go and join a fight? No.
But you see some men that actually have family and children.
I watched the news, CNN. Like a military man, like he put on a vest of like a bomb like on himself. He has to explode himself. Like he had to die for the Ukraine to prevent them, like slow them down from invading Ukraine. The Russians to slow them down from invading the Ukraine. No, you tell me, did you see any female who want to risk their life like that?
When Peterson talked about courage.
Courage.
Like,
there are a lot of things.
There's so many things we talk about. You can't just generalize that women are not being treated right. Who is stopping you for getting that job? Because these days, you literally sue people when they make it look like because you're feminine. Sometimes people tend to watch what they say so they won't even get sued or
the feminists thing, like, they're always getting it wrong. We are not saying women are not appreciated in society. Women are very valuable. Without women in society,
in those days when women are in the kitchen, who brought up those kings? Who brought up the children?
That is it. So women are very, very valuable. Even the man that is working in those hard labor, they were all given birth by a female.
Yeah, when they go back home, they're going back. Who are they working for?
You see, they always say guys love their mom more because of how they were being brought up. Men tend to respect their mom a lot. You get, because they love their mom because of what she passed through and those sort of things. So when we were talking about Peterson also talked about the lipstick and stuff like that. So if you want equality, those lipstick and makeup.
Yeah, it's not equality. Everyone should shave their head the way guys do. Since you want to be like men.
We should all just be the same.
Because I feel, just like what Andrew Tate said, we can be equal but different. Like, we are not the same.
That is it.
There's a reason why there's men and women. There's a reason why guys have more physical strength than women do. There's a reason why we're the ones that give birth. It's not a question that we can bring out answers to. That is just how we were created. So are you trying to be a man, or you're trying to get more opportunities for women? Because this is what a man can do, a woman can do better. What are you trying to put out there? It's not a competition between gender.
We ought to coexist, work together as one.
To make a better life for each and every one of us.
That is it.
I'm so happy there's a female president. She worked to get there. She didn't just sit down and say that, I'm a lady, you guys don't give women.
No, you guys have to put us because men have been ruining since.
Yeah.
You don't work like that.
You work for, if you take your time, I just wish people can just listen to all these lady CEOs and stuff, like people that are in high places. They will let you know how they got there. They didn't just sit there.
Oprah. her life story is as an example for a lot of
They
women.
didn't sit down and wait for someone to put them there or keep hate. Why is the hate towards men? Because I see men every day struggling to get to where they are. A lot of ladies can't even fix the bulb light. You have to call a guy. Even when just 95% of plumbers, they are men. I was very shocked when I saw a lady driving a car.
Uber.
No, not even Uber. Like Uber would have been so easy. This big bus.
Those tractors, trailers.
Yeah, I was very shocked when I saw her driving it. Like, it's not as if I didn't appreciate it. I was like, wow, I hardly see women drive this.
It's like 1%.
Even the Uber, honestly speaking, I've never seen an Uber lady. I've seen it online with people talk that the Uber driver was a lady, but I've never entered a car that my Uber driver was a lady. It's always me. So 95%, let me just say, 80% of Uber drivers are men. So do we want to equalize that? I don't know. Because it's looking like the things we want to make equal, the things that benefit women, the things that are in higher places, put us in the same payroll, this and that. What he was saying that women, single women get normal payroll. They say that if you are talking about the payroll, you're supposed to be looking at it. Mothers or women, talking about mothers, they get lesser payroll. Maybe because of the time that they take off work. You see, they get like 2 months or 3 months.
During that delivery, they will take some months off because they have to regain
even
themselves.
when they're pregnant.
Yeah.
Maybe when they're 8 months pregnant.
Their work goes less because the more hard labor you give them, the more it will affect that.
But the truth is that you
unborn
can't
child.
necessarily blame society for that. Because that is how women are. We definitely have to give birth if you want children. You can't just blame society that, oh, I went to give birth, then why do you guys reduce my payroll? Or why you guys give me lesser? It's just how life is. I just feel it would be better for us to work harder or do something else. Let me just say, you want to give birth to 3 children or 4 children, you plan yourself. This is the period I will do this, then I'm done. Then I put more effort in my work. There's a lot of women that are big places and their mothers also. I feel people should stop putting all the blames on men. Stop hating on them because they really work hard to get to where they are. We can't just make it like men don't let us do anything. They didn't stop us from doing anything though. So guys, please do let us know what you think about our video. Please do ensure to like, subscribe and share our videos. Watch more of Peterson videos. I really like it. We'll see you on the next one.